one. And welcome everybody to the 48th episode of the Hashtag Investors Podcast. I am your host, Scott Bauer, and today we got something a little bit different for you, really special. We got the fitness father himself in the house today, Jake Holmberg. How are you doing, brother?
Oh, hello, Scott. It is a pleasure to be on your show. I'm excited, man. I'm pumped.
Good. So a little bit about why this episode is a bit different is we're going to take a different approach to business on this episode. We're going to talk about the importance of health and fitness and how that can interplay into your business to make your life and business that much better. Because ultimately, as we all know, without health, you have no business. So I figured I would bring the fitness father himself. He's my coach, trainer, friend, got me into CrossFit and, continues to push me each and every day based on their programs that they write. And so, Jake, I just wanted to bring you on the show and we'll get chatting.
I like it, man. You sure have buttered my biscuit to start. I'm feeling special. I like it.
So, let's start off with how you got started. Where did where are you from? Tell the listeners where you're from and how you got to Phoenix and ultimately, how you got started in fitness.
I was born at a very young age in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And I spent the first 22 years of my life there, 21 years of my life. And at the age of 14, I kind of discovered working out. And sorry, I'm going to take this inside. I discovered fitness, and it became a part of my regimen right away from the age of 14 on, where I was going to the gym 5 days a week. Once I hit 18, I realized that that's what I wanted to do with my life. I was very fortunate to know it right when I hit adulthood. And by the time I hit 21, I was finishing up with school, and I moved out to the desert. I had I worked at a few global gyms like LA Fitness, and slowly, as I worked, I realized how much helping people was just gratifying. And at the age of 21, 22, I was, making good money, and I decided I wanted to do it on my own. So I left the gym and started training people at the park here in right on Chaparral and Hayden here in Scottsdale.
Yep.
And I had a trunk full in my car, and I just took what I had and got people fit with about a dozen people to start. And then fortunate enough to have one of them who wanted to invest in Blur and wanted to start this product. And then bam, we took off with CrossFit Blur in 2011. And then fast forward 7 years, we've been taking the jiggle out of Phoenix's wiggle ever since. So it's been awesome, man. I've really been fortunate. So it's really easy to wake up with a smile, even if I am waking up at 3:50 a.m. I'm pumped. I'm ready to help people. And you and I, Scott, have been talking about this before. How you and I are driving down the same road where the more people we help, the more people that we can boost up in life, the better off we're going to be as well.
Absolutely, man. So, and I think that's a really important piece to drive home as the helping side of it, right? Just the fact that I know, so for all the listeners out there, I got started in CrossFit probably, 2.5 years ago? Something like that. And I've always been a fitness fanatic myself, but it's not the same. And, coming to a place like CrossFit Blur has allowed me to see what pushing yourself and getting out of your comfort zone feels like on a daily basis, and really pushes you to the next level. These guys that you've put, both Jake and Justin, his partner, have put a lot of time and effort into making these workouts safe and making sure that we're all pushing ourselves every single day. And I think that is really, really important because most people don't understand how to work out. And, they think about having a trainer and how expensive that might be. And, you guys have kind of bridged that gap for everybody. So
that was exactly my goal. And as a trainer, in my early 20s, getting people to to spend $50 an hour to be with me, I was fortunate enough to have a decent amount that were, but also I understood that was just not feasible for much of the population. And I wanted to create the product where they were getting every benefit of personal training at a tenth of the cost, without having to schedule, just in case whatever, they come whenever they'd like, and they're going to get all the same benefits. And that was what we created with Blur. And it's been beautiful to see the results of people like you that have no distance between what they say and do. Your integrity is strong, so your commitment to fitness is strong. You just show up. If you keep showing up 5 days a week, all of a sudden magic happens. And it wasn't any particular day. It was just a million small steps of consistency, So, and you're proof in the pudding, Scott. That's why it's cool that we can talk about this here, because I've watched you get comfortable with the barbell to all of a sudden, oh, this dude's dominating barbells. Where did this come from? He just set his alarm at 5 a.m. and he didn't let any excuse ever get in the way of showing up.
Right. Well, and that, man, I tell you what, that's such an important part about it as well, is taking the small steps from the investment side, or people that are in real estate and with social media the way that it is, and this goes for fitness as well. You see people out there that are in phenomenal shape, right? Or you see the ultra wealthy that appear to be the ultra wealthy or the ultra successful on social media, and say, how do I get there? I'm here today. I'm in the spot that I'm at. How do I reach that next level? And the reality is that you have to take the small steps. You have to commit to it. Get up at 5 a.m. or whatever, and don't miss a beat, right? Just take the small steps every day, and eventually you'll get there. So that, I think, is a massive point to drive home, and I appreciate you bringing that up. That's everybody that's listening needs to hear that, and probably will encompass that for sure.
So I'm teaming up with this journalist who's going to provide us with some monthly content on our website, www.crossfitblur.com. And she asked me, like, what can I drive home? What's the one habit people can develop that it's going to change their health and wellness more than any other habit? And the more and more I thought about it, and the more we drove home our first article, I told her to focus on integrity, and just really breaking down. You can say it, but if you really break down what it is, and then you really stick to it, you realize how much your world can change. And having zero gap between what you say and what you do, all of a sudden your world, you can just start creating things left and right. And as long as you stick to your commitments, you're going to be okay. And the tricky part is you realize that integrity isn't some test that you necessarily study for. It's a constant pop quiz that's like, I'm trying to lock up the gym, but I said I would clean it. Okay. Oh, you got to take the garbage out. Oh, there's something else. Oh, it's like, it's there, but you just got to keep, you said you're going to do it. And if that means your night ends at 10 o'clock instead of 9:30, then that's when it ends,
That's the truth, man. And you know what? There's so many different ways that everything in life will try to pull you away from your integrity, right? And I think that's the struggle, is that with so many shiny objects everywhere, or just the easeability of going home a half hour early, compared to staying at the gym late to make sure it's clean for the next day or whatever. I mean, you could put that into a lot of different scenarios, but that is the important part about it. And, having integrity is something that everybody struggles with. I think it's a constant thing, because you have to constantly remind yourself and others that you do have integrity with what you say, and you do what you say that you're going to do. So
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, let's talk about, let me ask your opinion on what fitness and business. So I know what my opinion is on what the impact of fitness is on your business, but what do you think about it?
Go a little deeper. I'm not sure what you're.
So what is the impact of fitness you know, for somebody that's out there trying to start a business or somebody that's in business, what is the impact of fitness to keep them moving? You know, why would somebody want to do that? So they go to work 24 hours a day. Why would they want to come spend a couple hours at the gym?
So I would say that as you dive deeper into life, I keep realizing so many different things are counterintuitive to really what you would believe to be true. And one of them, wholeheartedly, I believe, is that you must exert energy to create energy. And
100%.
I always feel like that. And I was a fitness fanatic all the way up until last year or 2 years ago, when I totally flipped the switch and said, all right, I'm going to stay healthy, but business is going to come first. Workouts number 2. I've officially flip-flopped those two, and I'm going to make it stay that way. And then there was a good period of 3 or 4 months where that I would miss days of workouts. And the more and more I would miss days of workouts, the end of those days, I would be so foggy. I wasn't clear-headed. I was more irritable. So many different things. And it wasn't even because I went from being obsessed with working out to not working out. It's just, these are just changes in my body that were only happening after a few days, where I would go 3 or 4 days without working out. And I kept noticing it. And it made me realize that the busier you are, the more you have on your plate, the more you need working out, the more you need fitness, the more you need clarity in your brain for your day. 8 hours of work with the 1 hour workout is going to be way better than 9 hours work without a workout. You're gonna produce more in the 8 hours than you would have in the 9. Or same goes if you gotta just cut an hour of sleep out. If you gotta just set the alarm another hour back, and I'm sure that's kind of how you started, where you're like, well, this day's just gonna start an hour earlier now, and eventually you'll go to bed an hour earlier. You know.
Right. Well, I mean, as you know, for the longest time, it was just me that was there in Blur South at 6 a.m. I mean, it was,
You're
you know, it was just me.
morning. You are, yeah. And as far, I'll go back to a little bit more focused into your question too, is that my productivity on days that I work out versus days that I don't is through the roof. And in less time, I'm efficient because I'm clear-headed, so I can make more moves. I'm not indecisive, and especially morning fitness. And you obviously are accredited to know that as well. In the rest of the day, you've already challenged your body physically so much that your mind's ready to be challenged, and you can work it. You can focus, and I've noticed that personal experience. And all my morning people, 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. We train so many successful people that I watch it happen. I watch it happen every day. That it's turning into a gospel I've been spreading now more than anything, where I'm like, not even for any vanity purposes. This is for your energy. This is for your life. You need this. This isn't for your 6-pack. This isn't for your biceps. This is for everything else in your life.
Yeah, man. Like that's 100% true. And it is very important. I've gotten take a hold of the morning workouts each and every day. I don't feel the same without it. And I would agree that, you know, productivity is that much greater on days where you work out than not. Of course, everybody needs a break once a week or something, but for the most part, you need to push yourself, exert energy to create energy. And that's a great quote. I appreciate you saying that.
And you know what? Even on that day you don't work out heavy like with you, even on that other morning, if you started your day off 20 minutes in a stretching, kind of just in a meditative state, and then go on with your day, that motion is still gonna create so much more than if you didn't move. Get your ass up and move. You move or you die. That's it. It's just those 2 options you have. And if you're not getting stronger, you're getting weaker. You know, people, they won't want to say that because they're not in a workout regimen. They're getting weaker, but it's weakening you mentally and physically, you know?
Yep, 100%. Well, Jake, I appreciate you being here today, sharing with us. I mean, kind of started in 2011, or 7 years later. I've watched you grow. What is the number count up for CrossFit Blur? I mean, how many members are with CrossFit Blur now?
We have, I would say, between the two gyms, we're about 260, 270. Trying to do the math here. Yeah.
So in that amount of time, in 7 years, we've gone from zero or whatever it was when you started the gym to now 2 locations, 270 members. And we're all lifers, right? Nobody that goes to the CrossFit Blur gym is like, just go 1 day a week. Everybody's there to push themselves and be better and get better and feel healthier, et cetera. And you've created an environment and a community around it that is pretty remarkable, really. But I appreciate you sharing kind of
man
your whole basis around helping people, because I think that especially in the business world, so many people get caught up in the money and they don't get caught up in the why. Why are you doing it? What is the money going to do for you? And you've been able to unlock and see that you're doing this to help people. And because you have that focus and not the focus on the money, that's why this is such a remarkable, event that you've been able to develop. I mean, really.
Thank you, brother.
I think it's very important for people that's listening to this podcast are going to hear this and understand that. And, your why is very powerful and it's helping a lot of people. And so, that's massive. And also that you have to exert energy to create energy. That is so big, man, because it can't be any closer to the truth, right? Small steps are going to get you there, but you need to exert energy to create energy. And, that's just something that really stands out to me. So.
Yeah, brother. I really wake up trying to be intentful to see how many lives I can shape, sculpt, or even just shift from they came in with some negative energy hanging on them. Let's flip that so their perspectives totally flip when they leave. And they're leaving with their shoulders pinned back and they're strutting into the day feeling good and realizing that, did I get cut out here? Oh, there we go. Realizing that whatever is thrown at them in life, like you're going to be able to handle it. And the fitness aspect and really challenging your fitness, it makes you want to unleash that little bit extra everywhere else too. And I'm sure you've felt the little trickle effect into your life from your fitness where you're like, all right, where else can I be empowered? And that's my goal really, is just see how many people I can empower in the day. And I definitely know that's what God's put me here for. And that's what I'll continue to strive to do every day I wake up. And like you said about the money thing, it's an easy thing to get caught up in, and like the financials and obviously in the Blur mission statement, we want to be a business that's making money so we can stay in business. It's in the mission statement but it's our first and foremost is always making sure everyone is increasing their level of life at Blur. They're getting better physically, mentally. They've got a new team of friends and family that are there that not only support them Monday through Friday in their workouts, but they're out on the weekends together having fun. It's just it's infectious. So it's been cool to see.
Yeah, no, it certainly has. It certainly has. And, once again, it's a great thing you've created. And I think that for all the listeners out there, this is going to be a really good podcast for them to listen to and ultimately move into their life. So with that being said, I'm going to go into a lightning round. Are you ready for a lightning round? All right. What is your hashtag invest this tip to keep the listeners moving forward? You want to say one?
The investor's tip?
Yeah. So what is your invest this tip? What is one tip you can give to the listeners to keep them moving forward? If you had to say one.
One tip would be to just keep it authentic. The moment you move away from that is the moment you're moving away from you and your ultimate purpose. So whatever it is, as soon as you're scooting away from that, scoot right back towards it.
Okay. Thank you for saying that, sharing that. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely the truth. I was going to I was gonna say, if you couldn't think of one, get your ass up and move is what I was gonna say.
I mean that too. Hey, you're either moving or dying.
Right.
It is the truth.
That's it. Are you a big reader? Do you have a favorite book you've read that's had a big impact on your life or business?
My favorite book. You know what? I would have to say the only book as of late I really have been diving into. I definitely have been doing my best to connect with God. I've been reading the Bible, brother. That's really the only book as of late I've been trying to dive into His Word. Besides that, I'm trying to think. No, that's that. I'm gonna stick with that answer. I've really been trying to dive into the actual life of Jesus here on earth and see His leadership skills to try to use them myself and guide it through whatever my God's work for the day is. I could be better. I definitely could be better. But that is what I've focused on. And as far as listening books, it's been trying to learn Spanish. I've been unsuccessful still, but un poquito, más o menos.
Hey man, good for you. And that's a good book. You know, that's a good book to read. You get a lot out of that. So the next question is probably going to go with the last question, but who's giving you the best advice you've ever been given?
Best advice. I'm thinking of I don't think it's going to be a direct quote. I'm gonna direct people to something that changed my life pretty heavily. I did the Landmark Forum, and I highly recommend it to anyone. The advice it gave me, it just taught me ultimate humanity. Really that we are all one and we are all connected. And through the weekend course, they really dive into that. But it was just such a transformational 72 hours, and it was I want to say it was $600. It was gifted to me. Fortunately, it was a Christmas gift. I highly recommend anyone looking for a transformative weekend.
Sounds great. I appreciate you sharing that. How do you like to give back? Of course, we're so blessed to be where we're at. How do you like to give back to the community, or give back to just how do you like to give back?
So outside of all the members at Blur, I try to be as generous as I can through the holidays. We have charities that we run where we give back to the lunch funds of the elementary schools, trying to pump money into there for the kids that have delinquent funds or kids that can't eat. That's one thing we've dove into. Also, the Phoenix Children's Hospital is another, the most recent fundraiser we've done. Also, this is the first year now fully that the first 10% each month I've been giving back to my local CCB, the church I go to. I've been tithing. I also there was a few months where I kind of went where I wanted to do some different sorts of tithing, where some people in my wife's family needed help, so we switched that month to tithing in that direction instead of giving to the church. Besides that, the generosity we've tried to produce here is a food drive we just got done with. We did a clothing drive into Mexico recently, and I'm in the works with my church right now on establishing a plan for the border right now to feed there's about 10,000 people right at the border of Mexico and U.S. right now that are absolutely starving. And I didn't really realize it until I was there firsthand, and I saw it last weekend. So it made it real. And
Wow.
I'm fortunate enough to be a part of the most powerful church in Arizona. So I took it to them and I said, let's do something about this. So we're in the works of that right now. So I definitely am trying to maximize my time here on earth. That's my goal. I really want to stamp the best impact I can. Outside of that, I think I might have touched all the bases there. I think I did. So,
man, you went above and beyond what I was expecting out of that answer. There's no question at all that you're a very generous and giving guy. I mean, you mentioned 3 or 4 things that you're doing, and not to mention what you do on a daily basis, man. So thank you for sharing that. Now, how can the listeners reach you if they want to get into CrossFit Blur, if they want to learn more about your church, how they can, get involved with you on any of these ways that you like to give back? How can they reach you?
You can reach CrossFit Blur on our Instagram. Follow us on the Facebook as well. My Instagram handle happens to be Officer Delicious. You can find me on the Instagram there, and then you can find me on the Facebook as well. Is it all right if I just share a phone number on here as well?
Yeah, if you want, sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you just want to reach me as well, it's 480-341-3748. And then our website, there's a contact us on the website. That's on www.crossfitblur.com on the World Wide Web.
All right. Perfect,
so, yeah.
man. Well, you know what? Fitness Father himself is here today and shared lots of knowledge for you on why you need to get into the gym and keep yourself healthy to keep yourself moving forward. So, Jake, thanks again, brother, for being here. And we'll talk to you real soon.
I love you, Scotty. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Have a great day, man. Talk soon. See ya.
You too, brother.